Hello everyone, today we're going to be doing custom enchantments. Today's episode is going to have a little bit of a different format. First off, a part of the video is going to be animated. So if you want to skip that part, you can, and you can go to this timestamp. The animated part is going to explain what we're going to be doing and showing some code snippets in a short form. Hello everyone, in this tutorial we'll walk through an exciting new feature in the Lyphea plugin, a fully modular custom item enchantment system. We'll explore its architecture, how it's implemented, and how it enhances the in-game mechanics. So let's get started. The new registries. If you saw the last episode on how registries work, you'd know what registries are. But in short, they're just a map of namespace keys and the custom class provided. In this case, the new registries are going to be for custom enchants. What do enchantments consist of? Well, there you have a couple of fields. First, the display name, which is a component, of course. Second, a list of components, which is the description logically. As for the third and fourth, we have two enums. The first being the type of item this enchantment is going to be applicable to, and the second, what kind of enchantment it is. And last but not least is going to be the function called for checking the enchantment effects. Since these are not in-game enchantments, we can do whatever we want with them. Thus, we have them as flexible as can be, giving us reason to use functions. I don't think the first two need to be explained, but the last three definitely do. So let's get started with those three. The first one looks something like this and allows us to choose where the enchantment is allowed to appear. Would it be any weapon or any ranged weapon, it doesn't matter. But this way we solved our future problems of a custom enchanting table. The second parameter is used to decide when the last parameter, the function, is called. And as for the function we just talked about, it passes in the event and the level of the enchantment, and then it decides the additional value of the enchantment would provide. How did we achieve the desired effect of these enchantments? As you can see, in here we have sharpness and test. So let's give ourselves the item. Let's just see the differences. And as you can see, there is enchantment lore and the enchantment name and level. So let's explore how we did that. Okay, first off, this was shown in the animation before, but this was blurred out. So basically, this is the function that we have that is used for actually calling the event. It is the event, the level of enchantment, and the return value. But this is basically the whole enchantment. It is just the combination of all of the explained parts in the first part of the video. Next, I'm gonna skip all of these as these have been explained in the video before. This hasn't been explained though. This is basically just an entity. This is a bucket entity, by the way, as you can see. Subject and object. So this is the entity that is doing the event, and this is the entity that the event has been inflicted upon. So next thing I changed is custom stat entity. First off, I extended the field player, which is this, if you remember. So I did this just to remove clutter from the player. It is basically just the stat functions from previous episodes just put here. And we added a lot of listeners, but like 90% of them are like one-liners. So as you can see, this is basically every single event looks like this. So on armor change, this is basically just reloading the player's stats. This is opening the main menu, which you're gonna see. And I mean, as you can see, it is basically the same for every single listener. You can see the code is in the description, so you can see the events that were used before. Next thing to show is probably the custom player manager. We added a function here, which is the get player, and that is get player by the player object instead of the UID, so it's just easier to use in general. And then we changed a lot from the custom player. So if you remember, basically over here, there was just before the collection, there was multiple constructors, and I have decided that we're gonna delete them just for clutter's sake. And one more thing, we extended the custom stat entity now, which I have just explained. Over here was all of the stat functions and all of that, which, like I said, we have moved here. And one more thing is I added the reload stats function. So how this function works is basically it checks if the player has a helmet. If he does, then he creates a new custom item, and so, well, for all of the active slots that is done. And the custom item logic is still the same. So the major new thing that we want to talk about is the custom enchantment registry. This is very simple. So this is the initialize function, but custom item enchantment. So basically, we just want to register. This is the registry name, and then the custom item enchantment. And this is basically the name. This is the description of the enchantment. This is the application. I mean, you can see what it is. It was explained before. And this is how we call, or create rather, the function. So this is just a test, so it doesn't actually do anything. It just returns the level. But for example, this, in case of sharpness, it gives us the level times 0.1. So it is a percentage. So if it's level 1, it would return 0.1, which is 10%. This here is an item that I'm not going to explain. You should probably copy paste it if I'm being honest, since it's relatively hard to explain. And I mean, I copied the code, but it is basically just Arabic to Roman. Basically, that is all, just because of the effect that Minecraft has. Like, instead of sharpness 10, it's gonna say sharpness X. And the last thing we did is over here in the commands. We just basically create the enchantment command, and that command just enchants the custom item held in our hands. And one more thing, as you can see, there is a custom command completion, which is custom enchant, and what we did is registered it, and it looks something like this. It's basically the same as the custom items, it's just a different entry set. So yeah, that is it. I mean, the current enchantments don't actually apply any real bonuses, because like the damage and stuff is still not applied, but soon we will fix that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, do whatever you want. The code is going to be in the description. Timestamps are going to be in the description, and see ya.